Welcome, everybody, to Sports Shorts Daily, presented by the good folks over at LaBerge Casino. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Krysan of Talking Sports and Playboy Marty of ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. Fellas, hope you guys are doing well. And TK, of all three pictures, I think you're the winner. Where are you at?
I'm over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge, man. You got the wine wall behind me. You got liquor. You got Chairman's Reserve beef. In fact, brisket's on sale for $3.49 a pound this week for all your home gating needs for that LSU game week from Saturday. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Connect with them on Facebook and Instagram. Tremontis.com. 225-751-7665. Again, Jefferson Highway, just a couple of blocks down from Parkview Baptist Church and School. You got to check out Tremonti's. Mike's a great guy. Wayne and Calvin, the staff here, they do a wonderful job. And Mike's always been supportive of me, and glad that he's now a part of Sports Shorts Daily. He's also part of my podcast with Talking Sports with TK. So glad to have Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, Mike and the staff involved.
Marty, tonight, Tremonti's been a great place to go, but to watch the Heisman Trophy matchup, which is going to take place, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield in action tonight. The first week didn't go well. It didn't go well for Baker Mayfield. Went a little bit better for Joe Burrow as far as how he played, but they both came out with losses. But what was your analysis, I guess, of both of those quarterbacks? And, obviously they were both great in college.
I've always felt really weird about Baker because I've never seen an elite quarterback have that type of temperament, if that makes sense. Like where he's just that like bombastic and needlessly defiant. I've never really seen a quarterback be good with that attitude. So I've never really been super high on him. I thought like when I found out when there started being talks, he might go number one overall. I was like, are you serious? Like I was never really sold on him. He had an okay rookie year and that I thought people overreacted to. And last year, obviously we know how that went. Now it's just serious, like put up or shut up. And if Joe Burrow comes and outplays him after he's been in the league for 15 minutes, that's going to look pretty bad.
Tommy, Joe Burrow didn't get to have a preseason. He got thrown in there his first game. To me, it reminded me a lot of the Auburn game, his junior year at LSU, where didn't play that great, but when it came down to it, he showed some toughness, some moxie, and led his team down the field with a chance to win. And unfortunately, a missed field goal and a penalty cost them the ball game.
Well, they should have let Burrow try to field goal. I mean, he's going to do everything else in Cincinnati up there. So, he had a very good debut, although he didn't win the game, and that's why you run out on the field is to win the game. He made some really good throws, a couple of mistakes, but a couple of the mistakes he made, the team was able to overcome that. Mistakes are going to happen. So I think Joe Burrow, tonight, I'm looking for a big night out of him. Thursday night football, he's got a game under his belt now. A few of them butterflies will be out of there. I'm sure he'll still have some, but I think Joe Burrow's the real deal, and I think he's going to play in the league for a long time.
Marty, I think the quick turnaround helps him too, because if we know one thing about Joe Burrow, it's that he rebounds well after disappointments. And I've got Joe Burrow and 5.5 points tonight, boys. So
taking Joe. Are they at home? Not that it matters. Are they at home or on the road? I don't even know. It doesn't even matter these days, I guess, in the NFL if you're traveling.
Travel does, but
yeah. Where are you guys going to be tonight? I know you, Jimmy Ott, for ESPN from 6 to 8. You'll be where tonight watching the game?
Jolie Pearl every Thursday. We're doing $9 oyster platters, $9 buckets, and dollar shots for every Burrow touchdown, which I'm hoping I'll be taking a lot of dollar shots tonight.
Good place to watch the game. Tommy, one of the guys on the field tonight will, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr., they'll be out there. And the more that we hear about the problems that they're having in Cleveland and not winning and Baker Mayfield not looking good, you got two receivers that are getting paid a lot of money. And it just goes to show you that as good as these receivers are, it's all about the quarterback. It's all about that offensive line, because Odell Beckham Jr., who 3 years ago was the face of the league and was the number one receiver in the league, he's almost irrelevant now.
Yeah, the thing about Odell Beckham Jr. and Baker Mayfield, to me, it's too much about all the other stuff, the TV commercials, the trip to the boat, the nightclub. It's always a story about them two guys, but it's never throwing touchdowns or catching touchdowns. Hopefully they'll mature as a professional and get out there and, try to win some football games. Cleveland's been a mess for a long time. Another new coach, obviously, in there now. I think the talent staff, but I don't know if those guys work as hard as maybe you need to do to let that talent shine in the NFL. Because, hey, it's tough to win an NFL football game. It's tough to make a roster in the NFL. And, if these guys don't start producing, the Browns are going to run somebody else out on the field.
I thought it was pretty obvious, Marty, that on Sunday, the first week of the season, it was pretty obvious not playing a preseason was a factor. It was sloppy at times. The timing was right. Offenses weren't clicking. And there was no more obvious example of that than two Hall of Fame quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Drew Brees, going at it on Sunday, a game that was watched by many people on Fox, but yet it didn't look like the game we expected it to look like. Both those quarterbacks look old. They looked like they were missing that connection, even though that one or two preseason games they would have played. It didn't look good. My question to you is, who looked worse? I mean, who do you have more belief is going to get things turned around in week 2 between Brady and Brees?
Are we taking the whole team into account?
I guess the offense, yeah.
Okay, then I'll say Saints, because by all accounts they did not play that great of a game, especially on offense.
Yeah.
Offense was their weakest unit on the field, and they still won by double digits. So I think they're in a much better position. Although Drew Brees, I think he only threw past the sticks like 6 times all game, and like he can't really get around anybody, which is a problem in today's NFL. So we're near the end of a great run, and that stinks. But I still think the Saints have a chance to be pretty darn good. The Bucs, I think they've got 7-9 written all over them.
I think, Tommy, the Bucs, as talented as their parts are, and the fact that they have a Hall of Fame quarterback, I mean, they just need more time, right? They're like a fine wine. They just needed the mini camp and the off season and the extended training camp and the preseason games. By not having that, I gotta think Playboy Marty's prediction is very possible that an 800 team, 500 team is all they're going to be.
I agree with that. I think, as you guys said, not having them preseason games showed up in the first week of the NFL. And also keep in mind, but the last 7, 8, 9 years, these two NFL teams would get together with another team for like a 2-3 day practice before the preseason stuff began, or they put it in the middle. And Ronnie, you played football. When there's a different colored jersey, another line of scrimmage, it's different. Okay, you're going to put more into it. So that none of the 32 teams had that this year. Almost like that was still a high school term. That was the jamboree last week. The
Right.
dress rehearsal. Now they're going to turn it up. But if you're a Saints fan, they got the win. Monday night next week against the Raiders in their brand new outstanding stadium. Looks great from the pictures I've seen. Saints just got to say, hey, we got the win. Let's go get better.
Some news out of the NFL, Chiefs and Texans got their results back from the COVID. Not one player or coach tested positive for COVID. That's a good sign for the league. Waiting on Sunday, Monday's reaction. And fellas, want to hear from you guys. Michael Thomas. This is Michael Thomas is trying to pull a Willis Reed, right? He's saying, no, my ankle's fine. I'm gonna be back. But we're hearing reports that he's going to be out maybe as much as 7 weeks. Saints want to put him on IR. Big loss, Marty, for Drew Brees, who showed his age a little bit on the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not great. He definitely needs to not try to play on it, because high ankle injuries, that's like the worst thing you could do, is just try to like power through it, because it'll never heal right like throughout the course of the season. But like if you give it a few weeks, then you have a chance to come back and be like your normal self. It hurts a lot, but I think it opens it up for Emmanuel Sanders. And honestly, Brees has proven that, like, in his offenses, like, he can survive without his number one option for a few weeks. So I don't think it kills the season at all. It sucks for Michael Thomas fantasy owners, though, for sure.
You mentioned, Marty, that tonight in the Bengals Browns game, you're taking Joe Burrow -5. Tommy, you
plus 5.
The Bengals are +5.
Yeah, the Browns are 5.5-point favorites.
Oh wow, I do like that. I do like that action right there. Tommy, you on Talking Sports, your podcast. Well, y'all got off to a big start, huh? 6-1, I believe, on the weekend. With your predictions?
He was 6-1 in the NFL. Trey Blossman was, yeah.
What
We'll
did you
drop
do?
another podcast this evening. He'll have some picks for you. But I like the Bengals on the money line tonight. Go for it.
Ooh.
What did you have? How did you do week 1, Marty, on your picks?
Good. God, that Dallas game, it would have been just one of the most epic gambling days of my entire life if that Dallas game had played out. Like I think I had Dallas -1, and then that phantom pass interference call, I was screaming. But overall, like, we did good, made a little bit of money, but it would have been a lot of money at that.
The game that got me was the Titans. I mean, how can a Hall of Fame kicker miss 3 field goals and an extra point, and you win by 2, and the line was 3, and of course I'm going Titans -3 in that one. That was a crazy game.
Yeah, Men said the over, so he was not happy about that game either.
Want to talk a little bit of NBA action. Let you chime in here, Marty. We had an epic Game 7. The Denver Nuggets, of course. I mean, what an unbelievable story. Murray just I think if anybody's has made a name for himself in the playoffs, Murray's been the guy. They win 3 in a row. They put away the Clippers. So your ticket, didn't you have a ticket for the Clippers to win it all?
Lakers.
Oh, you have Lakers to win it all. Okay. All right. Well, your ticket's still alive, but that one of the best comebacks, ever.
Yeah, no, it really is for them to do it twice in one playoffs. Like, we may never see that again. It's never happened in the history of the NBA. That's just a tough thing. That's not something we're going to see too often. It's kind of just like the weird stuff, the weird shit that like we were thinking we were going to see in the bubble. Like just crazy upsets with no home court and stuff. In a normal season, I think the Clippers probably win that series.
Right.
But, I mean, adapting to different things is part of sports. It's part of basketball. It's part of coaching, which Doc Rivers, got to say this, I think there's 13 times in the history of the NBA that a team has blown a 3-1 series lead, and Doc Rivers has been the coach 3 of those. And no other coach has done it twice, and he's done it 3 times. And I just think he's the most overrated coach maybe in all of sports. I have for a while.
Well, no question about it. That's a pretty crazy stat. Jimmy Butler, though, might be the toughest guy in basketball.
Killer.
I mean, he kind of had a low reputation. He got run out of Minnesota, going over to Philadelphia. There's a lot of controversy about Jimmy Butler. But, man, I tell you what, he's found a home in Miami, and he put that team on his shoulders yesterday and beat the Celtics in overtime. I don't think they got him the ball enough. I looked at the stats. I thought they needed to feed him a lot more. But Jimmy Butler just – oh, man. And then the Adebayo block might have been the best block I've ever seen in my life.
It really was. Like, especially in that situation. I actually had Adebayo over blocks, and that's what hit it.
Oh, wow.
So, I was going nuts on that. But, yeah, Jimmy Butler's just – he's an assassin. He's just taken his game to a completely new place that, like, we really haven't quite seen from him. And he reminds me a lot, and I hate to say it because it's just another Miami shooting guard, but he has a lot of D Wade in him it's just – for the first 3 quarters, you're an average shooter. But in the last 5 minutes, I don't want anyone else but you shooting. You saw it last year in Philly. Like, they had Ben Simmons, Embiid, Tobias Harris, always deferring to Jimmy at the end of games.
Right.
Always. And he's really proven me wrong, because I said at the beginning of the playoffs when I bet on Miami to win the East, like, before the playoffs started, and I was just like, I just can't bet on a team with Jimmy Butler as their best player to win their conference, and it's looking to be a pretty dumb thing, I said.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's been amazing in the playoffs. TK, I want to get your reaction. Last topic of the day on Sports Shorts Daily, presented by LaBerge Casino. Big Ten football is back. They're obviously not going to start till the latter part of October, which means Happy Valley in December will not be happy. It'll be freezing ass cold. But, what does this say? Do you think Pac-12 will flip it like the Big Ten did? And why are they even playing a national championship if you're only going to play, 8 games?
I'm happy for the student athletes. Okay, I'm also wondering what about the Big Ten volleyball and soccer and all those student athletes? I mean, they just getting pushed aside. But I think it's good for college football. Pac-12 seems like they got a few hurdles to jump, but I think they're going to try to do something. Because we all know the playing in the spring thing was just window dressing. That's not going to happen. Would never have happened. So I think they got to do this, and like the SEC and everybody else, there'd be hiccups. North Carolina's game Saturday got canceled this morning against Charlotte because of tests. I think it's been like 16 or 17 cancellations of FBS games so far, and heck, we're middle of September basically. But everybody knows that that's coming. You just got to adjust to it. I think it's good. Nobody from the Big Ten or the Pac-12 is going to win the national championship anyway, but let them feel important. But more importantly, I'm happy for those student athletes that have worked their tail off to, play college football and try to get to the NFL.
Marty, your reaction to the Big Ten, because it seemed like there was a little bit of conversation about some teams from the Big Ten, maybe Maryland, maybe a Rutgers, Wisconsin. They may not, play football, but at the end of the day, all of them are playing. Nobody's sitting out. And the Big Ten that likes to think it's the elite academic, conference out there of the Big Five, you know what? They said, we can't not play football, because that's going to hurt them in recruiting if they would have sat out this year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they found a cure for myocarditis that made up – they just threw out there. Just what a bunch of schmucks. Like, Kevin Warren, just, get out of here. Come out and say that, hey, yeah, we jumped the gun. Don't act like it's anything other than that. Right. You acted rashly, and you looked foolish for several weeks, and, now this is where we are. And they're only playing 8 games, right?
Right.
I don't like that. Why do we have to play 10?
Yeah, I mean, playing 10 in the SEC is harder than playing 8 in the Big Ten. And, let's just hope that again, I think having a national champion this year, it's almost like they should shelf that. Have bowl games. But having a national championship this year, Tommy, and you know this because you work with USSSA baseball, it's like winning the Sulphur tournament down in Lake Charles that's got 7 Louisiana teams and 1 Texas team, and telling everybody you're a world champion. There's only 8 teams in your division, and they're all from your neighborhood. This is going to be a tainted down, watered down national championship, whoever gets it.
Well, it's all about this, right? It's all about the money.
There you go.
Okay? It's follow the money. That's why all those other teams are going to play that was saying they weren't going to play. It's about the money. They're all going to lose millions and millions already. We know that. But this is just a little way to get some of that money back. SEC will make 10 TV game money and then all of that. And then who knows what will happen with the bowl game. I don't know if we'll have 78 bowls or whatever they got now. But it's all about the money. That's what this is all about. And if you think it's anything else, you're kidding yourself.
All right, Marty, tell the folks, by the way, we noticed that it was only 1s on top of that wad, no 10s or 20s when you showed that, Tommy. Marty, tell the folks about your fantasy football pick'em show you and Mincy are doing. Y'all had your debut last night, huh?
We did. We did a surprise promo drop yesterday morning. We were debating, okay, do we how are we rolling this out? Do we tell people about it before? But we were just let's just do it the day of. Dear Mr. Fantasy, Ben Mintz and I and our buddy from Shreveport, Tyler Moody, we're doing a weekly fantasy football show, preview the new week, Wednesday nights, 10 p.m. on YouTube Live. We had a few hiccups last night that you can tell at the beginning of the video, but everything seemed to be going good. We got Moody, his video, he's in Shreveport, but it looks just fine in studio. And it was a lot of fun. That's why I'm super tired today, because we didn't get it going till 10:35. So we were in there until midnight, basically. So, but it's been a lot of fun, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback, and more people watched it than we thought, especially considering the time that it was on. So yeah, no.
Playboy Marty, you can check him out on ESPN Radio, of course, with Jimmy Ott each and every day. Tommy Krysan, tell the folks where they can get you on your podcast.
Hey, the podcast is Talking Sports with TK, available on all your major platforms, from Apple to Spotify to Anchor to TuneIn, the whole bit, iHeart. And don't forget Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. They're saying over here, Ronnie, is good meat ain't cheap, and cheap meat ain't good. They got the Chairman's Reserve beef, brisket on sale for $3.49 a pound. Get ready for all your home gating needs, whether you're going to watch LSU or your favorite team. connect with Tremonti's Meat and Seafood on Facebook and Instagram.
All right, Sports Church Daily presented by LaBear's Casino. Guys, y'all have a good one. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you tomorrow for more Sports Church presented by LaBear's.